This is a quick little video on customer maintenance. So how to enter customer information, how to edit customer records, saving a customer, and how to look up a customer. Alright, nice and simple. Generally you are going to go to the customer section in Boss, so we'll click on that one, bring it up. So first of all, if you want to search for a customer, all these customers are already in your database. So the way you would search, in the find column, you would just start typing some letters. It will start to narrow them down. There you go. So it's a living water shop. Now, if I'm doing this, I'm obviously going to be changing some information about the customer, otherwise there's no point for me to search for them. So from now, I've selected this customer, so I've double clicked on it. All their information has now moved from up here to down in this lower part of the screen. So I can now change the email address. So notice in nice bold red lettering it says edit existing customer. I've got their address, no contact though. So if I find that I now have a contact, put it in. My typing's not all that great at the moment with one hand. Cool. That's how you edit a customer. Nice and simple. Just got to make sure that it says that you're editing a customer and not creating a new one. You can change the financial details, defaults, deposit required, GST, etc. You can put some notes in here. Just remember that the pop-up note is a separate section that actually lets you know every time you open up the customer record that there is a note in here. If you don't put a pop-up note in, you're never going to remember that there is actually a note in their system. So if I do put a note in their note section in their customer record, I will always put a pop-up note in with just a little comment that will remind me to go back and check the notes. Okay, so the living water shop, I have edited, I've searched for them, I've edited their details, and now I want to make sure I save it. Very simple. All you do is you hit save. It comes up saying that the record was saved. Cool. Now, the other way you search for a customer is you go to the sales screen and I type in V, just as you do in the customer section. Just start typing and it will narrow the search down for you. There it is, the living water shop. It will automatically fill and it pops up with my pop-up note. So if I want to view what that note is, I click on this little open customer folder, come in, have a quick look at the notes. Nothing important. Okay, cool. But if it was a note saying that the customer's a pain, never pays his bills on time, make sure you get a 100% deposit, etc, etc. So I generally don't put that in the pop-up note section because it's bright yellow, very noticeable, and customers tend to pop their head around and try and have a look at that. So I normally just leave it as like a little note to say check your notes, and then you go in and have a look as I just did. Okie dokie, so that's entering customer information, editing a customer, saving a customer, and we've just done 2 versions of how to look for a customer. The next thing is, how do we create a customer? Very simple. We can either do it from the customer screen, don't know why I just closed that, and all we do, instead of searching for a customer to start, is we come down here and hit add new. When I hit add new, you'll notice that it says add a new customer. All the old customers that are in the database vanish because we're adding a new person. So test customer, So we always want to be prompted about where this person's from, how we found them. Local customer pickup, sales rep, yep. You don't need to get a billing address or a shipping address. It is lovely to have, but you don't necessarily need it. The things you have to have a phone number. If I don't have a phone number and I try and save it, it's going to come up and give me a big red flag and say, you have to have something there. But yeah, ideally, further down the track, you're going to want to start to try and market your customers. You're going to want to develop specials for them. You're going to develop marketing strategies. So you want a billing address or a shipping address. So you want to be able to send them something physical. But most commonly, you're going to send out email marketing. So definitely want an email address as a minimum. Phone number, email. If you can, get a contact name that you're always going to deal with so you can put the contact in. Now, as you'll notice here, this is actually currently grayed out, so I can't do anything here. What it's asking for is for me to save this record. Now I can put the contact information in. It doesn't always do this, but just don't freak out and think your system's not working if it does do that to you. Now with this one, I don't have to put a set telephone number in normally. I can just put in a cell phone, or mobile as us normal people call it. Come on, fingers. And again, if you tick mailing list for everybody that you want to be attached in the mailing list, it helps when you run some reports further down the track. It's not imperative that you do it, it just makes it a little bit easier further down the track. So everything we try and teach you is the long way to do it, so that it is thorough, very well done, so that later down the track you don't need to go back and try and fix up your database. It's always easier to omit things later than it is to try and put them back in once they're already in the system. Generally, the only time you would not tick mailing list is if it's the accounts person or someone like that you don't really want to bombard with that sort of stuff. It's often very nice to have your sales contact here. That's the person you're going to call and try and drum up sales with, or call them for artwork approvals, etc. They're the ones that you've got the good relationship with. Then it's really good to have the accounts department person, because if the bill isn't paid, you don't want to be harassing the person that you've got a good relationship with. You want to pick on the accounts person. You want to go directly to them, find out why they haven't paid the bill. Generally it's because they haven't got it, because this person that you really like hasn't forwarded on the invoice. So if you've got their email address, you can shoot it straight through to them, sort it out. There's no hassles, it gets paid really quickly. So you wouldn't generally put them on the mailing list for your specials flyers. Cool. Then all we have to do is not hit new. You would hit save. I'd already saved that customer, so thankfully. And as you'll notice, there's no undo button in this system, so if you do accidentally do that, you have to start all over again. But if we go back to, I'll close this screen, go to the sales screen and have a look at my test customer. So there we go, test. I can't even remember what one it was. There we go, that's me. That is how you search. Cool. Any questions, feel free to give me a ring, 0433 753 855, or shoot me an email, nsharples@ufgcorp.com.au. If you can't remember it, it's up there. Good luck. This is nice and simple, so just go through, enter all your customers, try and put as much detail in as you can.